the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
The Bears locker room has officially turned on head coach Matt Eberflus. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me another huge favor, but also hit the like button on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. All right, Bears fans, what to say about another Chicago Bears loss, their fifth in a row. They are now sitting at 4-7 with a matchup against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, where I really feel like the Lions are going to feast all over the Chicago Bears. And just looking back at the Minnesota Vikings game, before I go any further, I want to make this very, very clear. The Chicago Bears, for the first time in franchise history, have their quarterback in Caleb Williams. That was an absolute masterpiece of a performance by the young rookie quarterback. In his second game under Thomas Brown, he has come back to life. So once again, huge shout out to Thomas Brown. Some of the throws that he was making, the one where Van Ginkel, the Vikings linebacker, had him dead to rights. He rolls out to his right on the run and throws absolute dart to DeAndre Swift. The throw where he threaded the needle, where Van Ginkel had an opportunity to pick off that ball, but threaded the needle to Keenan Allen. He did it again to Keenan Allen later in the game. Some of the plays that he's making in the clutch down by 11, that throw to DJ Moore down the middle of the field to set up that Carlos Santos game-tying field goal was absolutely ridiculous. Caleb Williams is that guy. I do want to give him a huge congratulations because he did beat the single-season passing record for a Chicago Bears rookie. And right now he's at 2,300 yards. He's on pace to throw, for 3,600 yards. And that was with inconsistencies at the offensive coordinator position. Just imagine if Thomas Brown was the OC for Caleb Williams all season long. We could very well be looking at the first 4,000-yard passer in Caleb Williams, right? But huge shout out to him. Huge shout out the way that he played. We finally have our guys, Bears fans. He is that good, and he's really showing why the Chicago Bears took him with the #1 overall pick. So for everyone out there, don't let the record fool you. For everyone out there that's still calling Caleb Williams a bust, you, my friend, just don't know football at the end of the day, because some of the stuff that he was doing yesterday against a very good Minnesota Vikings defense, a lot of veteran quarterbacks can't make some of those plays, right? So once again, we have our guy. Now it's up to the Chicago Bears organization. I'm not going to say Ryan Poles. I'm going to say the McCaskey family, Kevin Warren, the organization. It's their job to finally give your quarterback a good head coach. You cannot ruin Caleb Williams because he is that good of a quarterback, Bears fans. So huge shout out to Caleb Williams, huge shout out to Thomas Brown, huge shout out to the Chicago Bears offense as well. Because down 27 to 16, thinking that the game was over, you have a quarterback finally that you can believe in, saying, hey, even when we're down by 10 with 2 minutes left to go, this game is not over until the fat lady sings. And once again, the stats prove otherwise, especially under Thomas Brown. Now, there's a lot of rumblings about maybe Thomas Brown getting a opportunity to be the Chicago Bears head coach as well. He definitely deserves his flowers after back-to-back games playing against pretty good defenses in the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings, and really bringing Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears offense to life. But now let's talk about our loser of a head coach in Matt Eberflus. And yes, Bears fans, Matt Eberflus is a loser. He coaches scared. He coaches to lose. And you think about the Chicago Bears season this year, and you're like, okay, what other way can Matt Eberflus find a way to lose this football game? Obviously, with 35 seconds left, up 15-12 against the Washington Commanders a couple of weeks ago. He blew that game, with that Hail Mary. 3 weeks later, with busted coverage and a blocked field goal assignment, we lose to the Green Bay Packers. They barely escaped the Chicago Bears. And then yesterday, your rookie quarterback gives you a gift and helps you get an opportunity to win that football game. But your defense was playing soft as hell, just letting Sam Darnold and Jordan Addison do whatever they wanted, or TJ Hawkinson, whatever they wanted in overtime. And once again, you find a way to lose. And here is the interesting part now, Bears fans, is that these losses are really starting to affect the locker room. You have to remember that going into the bye week, this Bears team was sitting at 4-2 with all the hopes in the world to not only make the playoffs, but maybe just possibly even compete for the NFC North as well. Now with 5 straight losses, they're now sitting at 4-7. You still have to play the Detroit Lions twice. You have to play the Packers and Vikings again. You still have to play the 49ers and the Seahawks as well. And now you're looking at a team that just looks lost at this point. I think we can all agree that at this moment, the best thing for the Chicago Bears is to continue to lose and for Caleb Williams to play well. I love what a couple analysts are saying on social media the day after the Minnesota Vikings game, saying that, hey, at least you're not losing because of your quarterback. You're losing because of your lame duck head coach that is now 5-18 in one-score games. Once again, I understand that the Chicago Bears will not fire a head coach mid-season, but this would be a good time to break that trend and fire head coach Matt Eberflus. He has been that bad. Once again, it's definitely affecting the guys in the locker room. I know DJ Moore came out after the game yesterday and says, you know what, luck has to eventually go on our side, right? You know, he's like, hey, when we forced overtime, we thought we had the opportunity to win that football game. And obviously the offense did not do good in their one series in overtime. But when you look at Matt Eberflus as the head coach and the defensive play caller for the Chicago Bears defense, he had multiple opportunities to get the offense the football back in overtime. But on 3rd and 12, 1st and 20, on 2nd and long, he decided to only rush 4 guys and sit 10 yards back on the Minnesota Vikings receiver, leaving Jordan Addison wide open, leaving TJ Hawkinson wide open in the secondary, which ultimately ended the game. He played soft. He's a loser. He played to lose, or coached to lose that football game. And we all know that Matt Eberflus is the problem. We've been knowing that for weeks. But to me, Thursday against the Detroit Lions should be hopefully the stamp, saying, you know what, let's just fire this bum, this loser of a coach Friday morning and you know, cut our losses and, you know, give Thomas Brown the audition to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Once again, this is what I really wanted to talk about on today's episode of Keek on the Mic, is that there's a lot of rumors saying that reportedly that the Bears locker room is turning on head coach Matt Eberflus. And there's even some rumors going around that some of the players actually walked up to general manager Ryan Poles after yesterday's loss, their 5th straight loss in, you know, dramatic fashion once again. Just Matt Eberflus finding different interesting ways to lose football games historically for the Chicago Bears. Actually walked up to general manager Ryan Poles asking if they can possibly fire Matt Eberflus as soon as yesterday. I know that's not going to happen because it's a short week. Maybe the Bears, if they lose to the Detroit Lions, which is very possible, and it's also very possible that the Lions may blow us out on primetime on Thanksgiving morning, and maybe that would finally be the nail in the coffin. So once again, rumors are going around that players walked up to general manager Ryan Poles asking to fire head coach Matt Eberflus, and that is a very interesting development. And once again, the Chicago Bears players are not dumb. They see who Matt Eberflus is. I think what Bears fans are feeling right now about Matt Eberflus, Bears players feel the same. I think when they lost that Hail Mary game to the Washington Commanders, they put a lot of faith in Matt Eberflus to try to find some answers. But at this point, I think they finally realized that Matt Eberflus has no clue what he's doing as a head coach. He has no idea how to make adjustments. He has no idea how to be a situational head coach. You know what he said about challenging that play, that 69-yard play on the first play of the second half to Jordan Addison? He said, the only reason why I challenged it because it was an explosive play. He had no evidence that Jordan Addison actually stepped out of bounds. That is a coach that has no idea what he's doing. Once again, the Bears do not fire a head coach mid-season. I still think they're going to stick to that trend, because at the end of the day, I think with Matt Eberflus, at least you're getting good draft positioning. You understand that your quarterback is still, playing good football over the last couple of weeks. Now we don't have to worry about a guy like Matt Eberflus ruining a guy like Caleb Williams, because Thomas Brown has Williams playing at a very high level. But I find it very interesting that players have approached GM Ryan Poles, if it is true, about the firing of Matt Eberflus. And it doesn't actually shock me, because you have to understand that the players did the same thing about Shane Waldron. When Shane Waldron had no answers on the offensive side of the ball, those players were not afraid to speak their mind. I think they're doing the same thing with Matt Eberflus at this point. I think they understand that he's finding ways to lose them football games every single week. And I want to give a huge shout out to Harrison Graham, because he said it perfectly on one of his episodes. He says, if the Bears just had a mid-tier head coach, the Bears would be at least 6-5, 7-4 right now, with a firm grip on the 6th spot in the NFL playoffs within the NFC. But since we have a loser, a lame duck head coach in Matt Eberflus, he continues to find new ways to lose this football team games in a historic fashion. And it was funny because leading up to that game against Minnesota, people were like, what will happen this week? How will Matt Eberflus lose us this game this week? And it was the same thing. You get to overtime, and the defense, he decides to call a defense that's very soft, allowing the Minnesota Vikings to do whatever they want, allowing Sam Darnold to do whatever they want to the Chicago Bears defense in overtime. And once again, coaching to lose and playing to lose, once again, cost us a win against the Minnesota Vikings. It ruined what was a really good performance from Caleb Williams, even though he played really well. But once again, he was robbed from yet another win because of the wrongdoings as a head coach for Matt Eberflus. So once again, I think we understand that Matt Eberflus is done here in Chicago. But it's just crazy that players, if true, are starting to speak out against Matt Eberflus. And I think he has officially lost the locker room. And I just think things are going to continue to get uglier within this locker room, especially now that you have to go against the Detroit Lions, a team that's probably not only the best in the NFC, but the best team in the National Football League as well. So things can definitely get ugly. And I understand that this is a divisional game, but things can get ugly very, very fast for Matt Eberflus and the Chicago Bears on Thursday. And I would just like to believe that if the Detroit Lions on Thursday destroy the Chicago Bears, I would like to believe that that would be it for the McCaskey family. I feel like that would be enough for Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren to finally just count their losses and, just say, hey, Matt Eberflus is not working, because obviously, the fans know it. Other teams know it. Your players obviously know that he has no answers anymore as the head coach, and it's been that way since you hired him. And just fire Matt Eberflus after that Detroit Lions game. But as always, Bears fans, I just wanted to come on here and give you that quick little rumor. Let me know how you're feeling about that rumor of players approaching Ryan Poles about possibly firing Matt Eberflus as soon as after that Minnesota Vikings game, where once again he yet coached to lose and just ruined yet another win for the Chicago Bears this season. So let me know how you're feeling down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic.